We'll come in, sit tall, and we'll settle in center. So it's our gentle class, sitting in a way that's most comfortable for you. If you need to sit in a chair or lean up against something, maybe legs crossed, maybe they don't. Just honoring the body. And as you come to sit tall with the eyes closed, we'll start to make our way from outer to inner to breath. Tapping into one sense at a time. Sense of sound. Sense of touch. Sense of smell. Sense of sight with the eyes closed, trying to recreate that space in your mind's eye. Moving awareness to the body scan, coming down into the feet and the legs. Awareness moves to the low back and up the spine. Awareness into the arms. And awareness into the neck and face, letting tension go as we come across it, becoming aware of it and releasing it. And lastly, just tapping into breath, observe and feel the breath. Taking in our intention for our practice. We say the practice of yoga is a special time that I have created to be with myself. It is a time to journey inward and to discover all of who I am and all of who I'm capable of being. This journey begins with this body. I come to honor and respect it. I come to nurture and nourish and strengthen and purify it through the practices of the postures and the breathing and the meditation. I'm not here to beat myself up or force my body into pain, and I am not here to compare or criticize myself or anyone else. I'm just here to learn the ways of nature through this body by listening to it and observing it, and by honoring it and trusting it. I intend to use what I learned to serve myself and to serve others. Let's begin with our own, taking full breath in. And opening eyes, taking our bow and our welcome. From here, we'll come on onto table, onto hands and knees. So take your time, observe and feel as you transition. Aligning yourself up, knees below those hips, hips width apart, wrists below those shoulders. Relaxing through the spine. Let that low belly go. Let the shoulder blades sink and let the neck soften and relax. So you feel the support from the arms and the legs. Everything in between is releasing, and maybe some nice good deep breaths just to feel. Before you start in on cat stretch, just hang out in the relaxed spine. And then we'll begin to move into our cat stretches, taking a breath in. And as you exhale, start to draw up from the belly and engaging those muscles as you round up, pressing through the shins, pressing through the hands. And then as you exhale, as you're releasing through the belly and the back, and continuing to find that movement. You might start just small and slow, small movement, and then gradually go deeper as it feels appropriate, body opening up. When we can practice letting the body open up and just being observing to feeling the giving way, the spinal muscles relaxing a little bit more as you go through this, going a little deeper. That is that honoring the body. That's that example of that. And it's also that example of letting the body lead rather than having the mind say, do this, do this, do this. And then it lets you notice how the body responds to the breath and how it just begins to relax and release on its own. And of course, there's times when it does need that support and that nudging. But as we go slow, we can feel that nice release, and we're not pushing. And just come back to kind of neutral table, just relax belly. So the tailbone is lifted and the shoulder blades are sinking. But again, we're not pushing any of that. We're not trying to lift the tailbone anymore. We're not trying to press the belly down towards the floor. We're just letting it be with what's there. Now let's curl the toes under. And we're going to get ourselves up here. So don't curl the toes under. Just get 1 foot underneath you. So this is our way to come up out of here. If you're comfortable with bringing the toes underneath and you want to come up in a downward dog way, you can. But this is how I'm going to show it today, is getting 1 foot underneath you. Hands are on the floor. And use your belly muscles, get the other foot underneath you. And then feel the rooting down from the upper belly to the low belly, into the feet and the legs, and slowly roll yourself up. So again, if you're not familiar with Heart Root, I'm going to suggest the free tutorials on how to do that so that you can apply that properly to class. All right, so we're going to come tall here and do a few joint warm-ups. So feet are hips width apart and knees are bent. Perfectly fine to have those knees bent. You want to practice some rooting action and some strengthening of your core. You can consciously come into much stronger engagement through the body, and then you can pause and just let it relax as we go through the different joint areas. So we'll start with our neck. So again, the shoulders are relaxed. trying to get a sense of the ears over the shoulders. Eyes can be closed or they can be looking down at the floor. And we'll just do our side to side. So take a breath in, and as you exhale, just slowly without moving any other part of the body, just kind of guiding your chin be the lead over to the right or the left, whichever way you want to go. Inhale while you're there, and exhale, slowly make your way all the way over to the opposite side. You might have to breathe, take a breath in between. Everyone's going to be different, whether they can do it all in one exhale or add in another breath. But we're just exploring the range of motion, trying to stay relaxed through the tops of the shoulders. And just noticing what's happening in that neck this morning or whatever time you're doing class. Head comes back to the center and pause. And we'll do the full range exploration from looking down to lifting up. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, again, you're slowly going to just release your chin down. Keeping, using some heart root here is helpful to keep those shoulders over the hips so that you don't roll forward, just the head. And then as you're ready to come up, and exhaling, slowly coming up, and keep that heart root. Feel that you're lengthening through the back corner of your head, taking your head up and over a rolled towel that's around your neck. And again, it's not about going all the way back and dropping. It's where you can go comfortably and still stay long through that back of the neck. And then we just continue that cycle here. Just moving back and forth slowly with awareness. And we'll come back to the center. Again, bend your knees if you need to, and we'll come into shoulder circles. So as we do a little bit of upper belly, low belly engaging, rooting down into our feet, we'll just start to make small circles with our shoulder joints, up and back. So we'll lift up, we'll take them back and let them release down. And then let's gradually make bigger and bigger circles, exploring your range of motion, using your breath to help you do that. And we'll go in the opposite direction a few times. We'll bring those shoulders up and forward and down. Being aware of what's happening in the upper back, shoulder joint. And then we'll release and relax through the shoulders. Shoulder shrugs, again, from a little bit of heart root going down, rooting down through the feet, coming tall. Let's slowly inhale those shoulders up towards the ears, giving a little bit of a squeeze there, and exhale, slowly releasing them. Don't just let them drop. And continue. Inhale, rising up. And exhale to slowly release. This might cause a little bit of fatigue when we hold a lot through the shoulders, or we have a lot of maybe some old injury or something in the shoulders. We're going to feel that pretty quickly, that fatigue come in here. So it's good to stick with it, but there's still going to be an edge where you're not going to be able to lift up anymore or lower anymore. And then we let all that go and just do a little shake out of your arms and shoulders. All right. Let's bend the elbows and bring the palms up. We'll go to our fingers next, so small little joints in those fingers, and we'll do our finger fists or fist flowers, where we squeeze and release and squeeze and release and squeeze and release as fast as we can go. without moving. And the idea, we're not moving at the wrist. We're not waving the arms around. We're just keeping them stationary. It's just those fingers in the joints and the finger joints that we're trying to get to. And here again, we'll come up with some fatigue. As long as we're not feeling any pain, we want to work a little bit past that fatigue, work into that fatigue just a little bit. Everyone's is going to be different, but if you need to pause, you pause, but you go till, well, everyone's going to find their place that they can work with. And then we're going to release and we're going to shake those oily, watery hands. Again, keep the elbows in close to your body so that you're just shaking at the wrist. And then we'll just let that go. Oh. Breathe and feel. Lastly, we're going to bend those elbows and we'll do some wrist circles. So going whichever direction that you want to, you can go make your circles coming in first and or going out, either way. Just remember which way you're doing it. And all of this so far you can do from a chair. And we'll go to the other direction, whatever your opposite direction is. Good. And we'll release those arms again. Let the wrists and fingers go. Observe and feel. Give a little shake out if that feels good to do that. We'll bring our feet a little bit wider than hips and knees are bent, and we'll take our fingertips and bring them to the tops of the shoulders, and we'll bring those elbows out to the sides. Using heart root to engage upper belly, low belly, pelvic floor lifts, leg muscles hug. That's going to help to stabilize our pelvis as we root and lift up through the crown. That's going to help to drop our shoulders. Taking a breath in and exhale, slowly twisting to one side, whichever side you want. Breathe it in and exhale over to the other side. And continue. Just go, and then the breath will just kind of click in whatever way it can. It's just the uppermost part of the back that we're twisting here. Good. And we'll come back to center. Release those arms again. Hands on the hips. Feet can come back to hips width apart. We're going to bend our knees and we're just going to do just some pelvic exploration of bringing the pubic bone forward and bringing the pubic bone back. And again, we're not overdoing either one of these movements. Forward, and then we're drawing it back. And you're feeling maybe your heart root muscles helping you. So the heart root muscles are going to help you but in both directions and help bring the pubic bone forward, but it's also going to help protect you to not overdo in bringing the hips back. Notice how that is. We'll come back to center and we'll come into some circles. So we can start forward and then come to one side and then back and keep that heart root there and then over to one side and forward again. And then you just kind of smooth all that together. You might make little teeny circles, or you might make bigger circles. Either way, you've got some heart root. And then heart root, once again, it's our supportive measure so that we don't overdo in the wrong places. And let's go in the opposite direction. So it creates a nice boundary, if you will. So we know what is our area that we can work within safely. And we'll come back to relaxed hips. And then the toes. So with the toes, you're just going to lift one heel up. And we're just going to gently shift barely any weight. We're just bending those toes and just moving your knee from side to side will be just enough of a stretch. If it feels okay and you're able to flip over onto the tops of the toes, you can just very lightly explore the level that you can work with that stretch. And then we'll relax those toes and the other foot. If you do need to lean onto something, please do that. And if it feels really good, then you can go a little bit deeper. So this is our, the learning to work with our edge, right? When we're strong and open and body's feeling good, we have our edge is in one place. Relax your feet. And when we're rehabbing or working with limited range of motion, then we have a different edge, and we're working with that. Okay, so let's bring our feet hips width apart. Yeah. And let's bring that heart root together. Upper belly, low belly. Zip it up. Muscles hug the bones, lengthening through the spine. Arms are alongside. We'll do our modified sun salutation. So as we root in, let's take that right arm, and we'll inhale that right arm up, press down, lift up, and exhale into lateral stretch. Inhale, we'll take it back up to the center. And exhale, we'll take that arm out and down. And the other side, we'll inhale that left arm up, we'll press down into our feet, we'll press our right arm into the right side, and then we'll exhale into our lateral stretch here. So you're rooting down into your left foot and feeling that whole stretch up the left side. Inhale back up to center, and exhale the arm out and down. Into the easy back bend with the hands behind. Root down into the belly with those strong legs, that pelvis moving forward, pubic bone moving forward, rolling the shoulders and lifting that breastbone up to the sky. Shoulders draw back, the chin draws in. If it feels okay, imagine that roll towel again and take that head up and back. Inhale while you're here. And exhale will come up. We'll bend those knees. Keep it strong in your center core here and down through those legs. Lengthen yourself out and we'll roll it over, draping yourself over. Relaxing through neck and shoulders. Good deep breaths. Feel that breath flow down into your pelvic bowl, into your low back, into the belly. And root down in, and we'll slowly roll it up. We'll release and relax and shake it out. Okay. We'll do one standing pose for today, and then we'll come to the floor. So simple star pose. We'll come lengthwise on your mat, so whichever way you want to go. And coming comfortable width, wider than hips. Toes are straight ahead. And take a little pause. So relax your knees and hips and shoulders. A nice good breath in and out. And then let's engage that heart root, upper belly, low belly muscles. We start to zip it up. Leg muscles will hug the bones. Maybe you'll feel that the head of the femur bone starts to roll in. And then as you bring that rooting action through your legs, you feel your feet press a little bit more to the outer edges of the feet. We don't have to necessarily add extra weight there. We just want to feel that there's this the teeniest bit more on the outside than there is on the inside, but the inside is still grounded. Lifting up through the back corner of the head. So you feel that lengthening up through the front body, center line, and the back body, and even through the left and right side bodies. Feeling that you're all kind of uniformly equally lifting up out of your pelvis through the crown, and then let's let those arms float up shoulder height and turn those palms up. So we're drawing that muscle energy in, shoulder blades are down, lengthening out through those fingertips. Toes are ideally not gripping, but you feel grounded and rooted through those feet. Eyes can be open and soft, looking at the floor. Steady, deep breath. Maybe feeling those arms, maybe wanting to draw back, not necessarily up higher or lower, but back towards the wall behind you a little bit to open up the front body. Breathe it in. We'll exhale, turn the palms, and we'll lower those arms down, bend your knees. Breathe and release. And we can walk those feet in towards each other. We're going to come down onto the floor, onto hands and knees. So let's come on down in a way that is best for you. You need extra support underneath your knees, a little extra cushion. Do that and do that under both knees. And we'll come into our table. Then we can relax through the spine for a moment, let the head drop. So a lot of our strength here is really coming from the arms and the legs. So with the hands, we want to feel those hands as if you're trying to push the floor away rather than just kind of sink into the floor. Right? We're pushing the floor away. So we're using our fingers, base knuckles. That's going to activate our arms. And then from here, take your right leg and just extend your right leg back behind you. Have the toes curled under on the floor. So it's just a long leg, the foot still on the floor. And just draw into the belly, root down into your belly, lengthen through the spine, engaging through that right leg. Then go ahead and lift that right foot up off the floor so your leg gets something to parallel. And hold that leg back there, draw into the belly. We're just going to do knee to chest here with the leg. So we're going to bend the knee into the chest as we round the back. Take a breath in. And as you exhale, keep the heart root, bend your right knee, bring it into the chest and round your back. And then bring the leg back. So we'll inhale to bring the leg in. And exhale to bring it back. Send it out. And continue a few more times. Inhale, round the back. Exhale, elongate the leg. And next time that leg comes back, we're going to hold it there again. Long spine. And exhale. We'll bring the foot to the floor and then the knee to the floor. And we'll relax through the spine and the neck. And let's freshen up our arms. So we'll engage. We'll push the floor away. Muscles hugging the bones in the arms. We'll extend our left leg back, toes on the floor and curled under. We'll root into the belly, lengthen the spine. Feel the muscles hug the bones in the left leg and just let that left leg float up. Toes still pointing down. Think more of lengthening your heel to the wall behind you. And then we'll come into some knee to chest. Take a breath in and exhale. Bend that left knee, bring it in, round your back, curl your forehead towards your knee, and release your leg back. Inhale as you come in. Exhale as you elongate. A few more times. Stay with it. Explore. Of course, if you need to pause or take a break at any point, you can. And taking it back one more time for a hold, lengthening spine. And we'll bring the foot to the floor and we'll bring that left knee in. And let's just come down onto our forearms. Let our forehead rest maybe on the floor. If it doesn't get to the floor, you can stack your fists and let your forehead rest. And relax with the shoulders. Good deep breath. Feel that breath flow into the pelvic bowl, upper back. And we'll slowly bring ourselves up, but just come to sit to one side and we'll swing those feet around. We'll come into a seated wide position. So you can, you can either turn yourself on the long end of your mat and face the side. If you're comfortable facing forehead forward and feet on the floor, you can do that, whatever works for you. And we're going to do some forward bending over each leg. So we're going to take our right hand and bring it in front, and our left hand comes behind. So you want to try to align as much of our torso over our left leg. So as we root down into the belly, press down into those sits bones and start to root out through left and right leg. And lift up tall. We're going to scoop the belly over to the left. Now, for some of us, we might just stay right here. We might not go any further. You've got your hands for a little bit of support, not much weight in your hands, but just to help actually keep your spine nice and long. And you can stay here and breathe fully and steadily, or you can start to lift and lengthen and elongate, taking your torso up and over your left leg. And I would encourage just practicing little bits at a time because you want to still stay connected to the sits bones. Inhale, root and rise. Exhale, see if there's any hinging. Inhale, root and rise. Exhale, explore some hinge. You want to try to keep that long back through the whole pose, even though there may be some rounding. So this is, some of us will find that there's a difference between just rounding over and having an elongated, rounded back. And nice, good deep breaths. When you find your edge to be with, your root and rise will help you to determine what your edge is. You want to stay connected through both sits bones. You want to stay engaged out through your right leg as well as your left. You want to keep that twisting action feeling going on and relaxed, safe, good steady breath. And we'll inhale to slowly bring ourselves up. Stay looking out over your left leg. And then once you're all the way up, then you'll just naturally return to the center. Left hand comes in the front, right hand comes behind. We'll do the other side. Now, some of us also might feel a little pulling in the knee or up in the butt. You will have the opportunity to bend your knees in this if that is what you're feeling. So we'll root down into our sits bones. We'll lift and lengthen. Could feel very different on this side, maybe just a little different, maybe no different, but we come into it with beginner's mind. Rooting in, engaging the muscles in the legs, lifting and lengthening and scooping that belly over to the right. Trying to get a sense that from our belly button up to our collarbone is in alignment over our right leg. And then as you inhale to lift and lengthen, either you stay upright, working with lifting and rising, or you start to lift up and over, exploring the forward bend part. Your left hand can rest or can engage into the inner left leg. Can be a rooting point to help keep you into your shoulders and upper back. So there's lots of points here. So this is, it's not necessary, it's gentle posture in the way that we're doing it and in the sense that it is seemingly a simple pose, but there's a lot going on here. A little bit of the twist going on, rooting down into pelvis. People's pelvises, many people just don't have a symmetrical pelvis, so we need to be aware of that. Of course, the legs oftentimes give way and we forget about the legs and the feet, so a lot of awareness there as well. The lengthening through the spine. There's so much that's easy to kind of give way, and learning what that is for you. And we'll inhale to slowly come up. And we'll release as we come back to center. You can use your hands back behind you for a moment. Lean into your hands. Oh, take a little breather and release. We'll do one more variation from here. We'll do our forward bend variation, or again, just staying upright in neutral position. So hands can start out behind us here. And from that relaxed place, so relaxed legs, don't engage anything yet, then use heart root. Upper belly muscles, lower belly muscles. Muscles hugging the bones in your legs, reaching out through the heels and the balls of the feet, elongating. And again, the shoulders down, heart lifting. This is a great place to be, just right here. Really good strengthening, really good equalizing front body, back body. If you're feeling okay and you want to start to lift and hinge, by all means do that. Otherwise, stay upright. Hands can come, if you're folding over or hinging, hands can come to the insides of your legs. Again, with elbows bent, and let them act as awareness training tool, just like little, what do you call them? Shoot, the training wheels on a bike. Press and lift and hinge. Steady, even breath. And we'll slowly come back up. And you can relax through those legs. And bring those legs back together again. You can lean back into your hands and give a little shake out or a knee bop with your legs. And from here, we'll move into our twist. So our twist of choice. Some people, well, let's see, I typically am going to suggest the cross-legged variation, though there are the other variations with the right leg up and over. If you're familiar with the variations and there's one that you like to do, then by all means do that. We just need to start on the same side. So it would be the right leg that would be up and crossed over. So that's our left hand can be on that right knee or around that knee with the right hand behind us. And we'll take our pause. And find that heart root again, activate upper belly, low belly muscles, picking up through the pelvic floor, but we're not engaging, not over engaging through the glutes or the inner groin. So we want to be aware as to how much we're engaging there, rooting down through the feet, lifting through the crown. And exhale, scooping our abdomen to the right, twisting right, shoulders down, heart lifting. Good deep breaths in and out. In our gentle class, we can already, it's much easier, I think, to to let go of the expectation thoughts, the thoughts that come in and talk about doing more and going harder. Gentle gives us that permission. Let's just root and rise, lift, and move into the twist with ease. And be there and watch that. You can still root and rise to maintain the integrity. And then you're just open to. So we're not forcing, we're seeing if the body has the inclination, has the opening to move. That's effortless effort. And inhale will come up tall. Keep that heart root there as you untwist. Once you're front and center again, then you can let go. Again, observing, feeling all along the way. And then we'll switch it out. We'll take our back leg to the front, or our left leg will then come up and over. Reset our hands in that opposite positioning. Oh, we'll take another pause and let it go. Rebuilding that heart root. Feeling it engage, muscles hugging, feet pressing. So the outer edges of the feet, or whatever part of the foot is on the floor, that's our rooting point. Lifting, rising. And here, and exhaling, slowly turning into your twist. Just enjoy the process of moving into the pose. No matter how many times we do it, just be in that process of allowing, finding that place of will and surrender. Inhale, lift and lengthen. Exhale, return to center. And let it go. Bring those knees up or drag your legs out, all the way out. And give them a little shake out. And we'll come down to the floor for our bridge. Our gentle bridge. So we'll ease ourselves down. Now you can use a block. I'll show you a gentle hatha bridge with a block. And ease up, feet flat, feet are comfortably close to the backs of the thighs. Shoulder blades are tucked in a little bit. If you've got a block or a book or something with 3 or 4 inches of height, have that nearby. And once the back is settled, you feel that releasing and settling, wherever that is, low back, upper back. Maybe there's no settling there. That's great too. Let's start with some pelvic tilting of just feeling the minimal amount of effort to have that pelvis tilt back and forth. And then as you engage a little more, heart root, upper belly, low belly, and down into those legs, you can actually begin to lift the pelvis away from the floor. And the more heart root that we engage and root down into the feet, the more we're going to be able to lift the pelvis and the spine up off the floor, finding your full height. You can come into bridge from here. Now the supported bridge here that we'll come into is just to use a block. And as you press down into your feet and lift, you can just bring that block at whatever height you can, and you can rest on it for the time being. It's not about just kind of giving way into the block. You do want to use some muscular action here, almost like you're trying to just about floating or wanting to hover over the block. If you're fine without a block, then of course we're rooting down very strongly through those legs. The shoulder blades are being drawn in underneath you, and you're using your arms as your rooting point in the upper half of the body. And the hips are lifted higher. Okay, or again, with the block, you've just got it there in case you kind of give way. You need to take a pause, it's there. And then as you root and regain and come back, you can work with the bridge in that way as you're maybe exploring as a new pose to you, or the back or some other part of the body is not quite in line with all the other parts. This is a way to help build that uniform sense of strength from feet to legs, to pelvic floor, to back, to belly. And then we'll slowly come down. So we won't do a long holding on this. We'll ease ourselves down. If you had a block underneath you, you want to lift it and take the block out and then lower yourself down. Shoulder blades walk out from underneath you. We'll bring the soles of the feet together, palms on the belly. And a good breath in and out. Take a stretch with those arms overhead, lengthening. And exhale. We'll bring those knees up and in to the chest. Just a nice gentle squeeze. We'll bring the feet back to the floor and we'll come down into Shavasana, into our relaxation. So we'll ease legs down and out, one at a time, two at a time, whatever works. Shifting hips, you really want that tailbone. Sometimes it feels good to sort of lengthen it away from you. Shoulder blades, maybe a little gentle tuck in underneath, palms face up, 6 or 7 inches or so, 4 to 6 inches away from your body. Whatever feels comfortable, all the way up through the arm. Eyes are closed, and let's breathe it down into the feet and the legs. Feel that breath flow into feet and legs. And as you exhale, we'll relax and let go through feet and legs. Feel the next breath flow into the pelvic bowl, full and deep. And exhale, relaxing the muscles in the low back and the low belly. Next breath flows into the spine, the back body, as well as the front body, the side bodies, filling up that torso. And as you exhale, release and let go, relaxing. And breathing into those arms, shoulder joints all the way down to the wrists and fingers. Feel that breath flow in. And as you exhale, exhaling out any tension through the shoulder, elbow, wrists, and fingers. And breathing into the neck and the face. And exhale, release, and let go. Eyes, cheeks, and jaw. Allowing for this time to restore and re-energize. And just begin to deepen your breath. Allow the arms to come overhead and allow for a stretch to come through the body. Bringing those knees back up and into the chest, arms around, taking in a hug of appreciation and gratitude. You rocking a little side to side. Left arm, right arm overhead, and roll it all the way over to the right. And open the eyes and we'll slowly come up to sit for a short closing meditation. Sit tall and sitting in the way that's best for you, and eyes are closed. Using a little bit of heart root. Now it should come relatively easily, just enough so you can sit tall. If you still need a prop or you need a chair, still use heart root. Eyes are closed. Bring your inner gaze to the end of the nose, and as you inhale, repeating to yourself, this breath is breathing in. As you exhale, this breath is breathing out. Everyone has a different breath practice that they like to do, then by all means, you can do that during this time. Okay. Back to the breath. Set an intention. What do you choose to take with you from class? Some insight, some awareness. Sharing a quote from Yogi Desai as well. Clinging to the familiar is often prompted by fear of the unknown. Clinging to the familiar is often prompted by fear of the unknown. Let's take our intention down to the heart center, center of your chest. Infuse your intention with some heart energy. And then we'll let the bell take that intention, you can let it go with the bell. And we'll close with our Om, taking full breath in. Om. And breathing it in. Shanti. 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 And sharing and spreading the peace wherever we go, taking our bow in gratitude and namaste. And namaste to you all. Have a wonderful day or 24 hours.